Hello guys, welcome to Roadmap. Today we are going to learn weather, climate and adaptations. And if you like the video, don't forget to click on subscribe button. So the topics to be covered in this lesson are introduction, weather, climate, adaptations of animals to different climates. Now coming to the introduction. Both weather and climate affect our lives in many ways. Our ways of living, the clothes we wear, the crops we grow, the food we eat, and many other things depend on the weather and climate of the place where we live. For example, you wear cotton clothes during summer and woolen during winter. All living organisms react and act according to the climatic and weather conditions around them. That is why you plan outdoor picnics on sunny days and indoor activities on a rainy day. Although both weather and climate pertain to the atmospheric conditions in our surroundings, there is a difference between the meanings of the two terms. In this chapter, you will learn about weather and climate and how animals adapt to the changing climate. Now, what is weather? The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, winds, speed, etc. is called weather. Weather is the cumulative effect of all these factors or elements. It tells about the changes that takes place in the atmosphere at a given place and time. It may change from day to day and even from hour to hour. For example, it may rain for an hour and then the day may become sunny and clear. The maximum temperature of the day occurs generally in the afternoon, while minimum occurs generally in the early morning. Temperatures is measured with a special thermometer, which are called as minimum and maximum thermometers. The main elements of weather are temperature, humidity and rainfall and wind speed. Rainfall is measured by an instrument called as rain gauge. Now let's learn about weather stations. India has several hundred weather observing stations called weather stations. At these places, weather data are continuously recorded and processed. On the basis of the weather information received at these stations, a weather forecast is made, which we come to know from Delhi newspapers and news bulletins, on radio and television. The weather reports are prepared by the meteorological department of the government. Meteorologists record the daily weather. Local weather forecasting. Weather conditions can be represented for any local area or a comparatively small place. You must have read about the local weather in Delhi newspapers, such as from the various places like Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Chandigarh, Shimla and Ahmedabad have local weather conditions which are published in their local newspapers or TV channels. These daily weather reports also give information about weather conditions likely to prevail over the next day or the next few days. It is known as weather forecast. Nowadays, weather forecast is often very accurate. It is also very useful for most people like farmers, tourists, businessmen, navigators, fishermen, etc. in their day-to-day activities. Now let's learn what is climate. The average weather pattern that prevails over a long period of time in a place is called climate of that place. Like in Thar Desert, it is hot, while a place like Manali, it is cold because of the cold conditions. There are various factors affecting climate. There are a number of factors that affect the climate of a particular place in the world. These factors do not work in isolation. They combine in different ways to give rise to a particular type of climate to a place. The major climatic factors such as latitude, distance from sea, direction of winds, altitude, humidity, ocean currents. Now let's look at them one by one. Latitude. Due to the spherical shape of the earth, the climate of a place is affected by its location on the earth. The location of the place is determined by its angle of latitude. The places at the equator have a latitude of 0 degree and it goes on increasing till we reach the poles with latitude of 90 degree at the north and south poles. Due to the position of the equator in relation to the sun, the places of the equator receive sunlight at right angles. Therefore, the sun rays concentrate on a smaller area and heat it up considerably. But as we move towards the poles, the sun rays fall in a slanting angle on the land and have more and more areas to heat up. So the heat is spread out over a larger area and it becomes colder and colder with increasing latitude. This makes the difference in the climate of a place. That is why it is hot near the equator and cold near the pole. Now, distance from the sea. The climate of a place is affected by its distance from the sea. As you know, coastal areas are cooler than inland areas. These areas are also more humid than the inland areas because the wind blowing from the sea towards the land carries a lot of moisture. But inland areas are drier and hotter as most of the moisture evaporates before it can reach the inland areas. So this is about the distance from the sea. Now the direction of the winds. The climate of a place is determined by direction from which the wind blows. Wind that blows from hot and dry inland areas like Rajasthan deserts increase the temperature of the air and result in warm and dry conditions in summer. Winds that blow inland from colder regions like the Himalayas are cold and dry in winter. Now let's learn about the altitude. Altitude is the height of a place above the sea level. It is much warmer in plains in comparison to hills. This is because in the plains the area is thick and capable of absorbing and retaining a lot of heat. As altitude increases, air becomes thinner and is not able to absorb and retain much heat. That is why mountains are cooler than plains. Mountains also receive a lot of rainfall as clouds condense rapidly because of the cold conditions at high altitudes. Because of the low temperature on high mountains, many of them also are snow-capped for most of the year. Now, what is humidity? The amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere determines the humidity of a place. A drier place will have lower humidity. Places near the seacoast have greater humidity than places far away from the sea. It is also higher during rainy season. Now, what is ocean currents? The air over warm ocean currents is warm and humid. When wind blows in from the warm currents, it makes the climate warm and wet. Similarly, the cold and dry winds that blow in from above the cold ocean currents make the climate cool and dry. So this is about the factors affecting the climate change like latitude, distance from sea, direction of winds, altitude, humidity, and ocean currents. Now let's learn about the adaptations of animals to different climate. In class 6, you must have read about different adaptive features which animals develop to live in different habitats like aquatic, terrestrial, and amphibious habitats. Adaptation are features that help animals to survive in their surroundings. In this section, you will learn about the adaptations of animals living in polar regions and tropical forest only. Adaptations in polar regions. The polar region remain covered with snow throughout the year. The North Polar region is also called as Arctic region or Antarctic region. Some of the countries like Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Russia and Finland. These are the Arctic regions. It is very cold there. The sun does not set for 6 months at the poles and does not rise for the other 6 months. In winter, the temperature may be as low as -37 degrees Celsius. Some of the animals which live in popular regions are polar bears and penguins. Let us study how these animals are adapted to extreme cold climate. Polar bears. These are found in the Arctic region which remains covered with snow. They have Following adaptive features. Polar bears have a thick layer of white fur and a lot of fat in their body to keep them warm. The white color of a polar bear helps it to camouflage from its prey. It has short, stocky claws which help it to hunt heavy prey both on land and in water. The claws are curved inwards to help in digging in the ice. It has large feet which allow it to distribute its body weight while walking on snow or in thin ice, and it helps to swim well in the water. The pads of the paws have many small soft papillae which help it in gripping the ice while walking. It has a very strong sense of smell which helps it to locate and catch its prey. The polar bear's teeth are highly adapted for hunting. It has large sharp canines and smaller and stacked cheek teeth. Female polar bears dig dens in the snow where they might hibernate to give birth to their cubs. The process of the remaining inactive or dormant during winter is called hibernation. So in this picture you can see about the polar bear and you can imagine its features. Now let's learn about penguin. Penguin is well-known aquatic flightless bird that is found living only in the Antarctic region. They have following adaptive features. The front part of a penguin is white in color and this emerges well into the white background of the snow, as you can see from the picture. It has thick skin, soft and smooth feathers and a lot of fat to protect it from cold. Penguins huddle together in groups to stay warm and fight with their enemies. Their body is streamlined, you can see from the figure, and their wings have become modified to flippers. The black which you can see the flipper like in the picture, which help them in swimming. On land, penguins use their tails and wings to maintain balance while standing upright or walking. Penguins dive into water to hunt their prey, which mostly comprise to krill, fish, squid, etc. Larger varieties of penguin, like emperor penguins, can hold their breath underwater for 15 to 20 minutes. Remember, this is very important. They can hold their breath for 15 to 20 minutes. Penguins slide on the snow or walk in a peculiar manner, swinging from side to side. It helps them to conserve their energy. Penguin can also control amount of blood flow to their extremities and thus can control the loss of heat from their body and prevent the extremities from freezing. Unlike other birds, penguins have an average sense of hearing. Penguins have adapted to drink salt water. The salt is excreted out in a fluid form through nasal passages. The animals which are living in polar regions, others are muskox, caribou, reindeer, Arctic fox, seal, walrus, and birds. Some birds of the polar region migrate to warmer regions during winter and return only after the summer begins to set in. This process of movement of animals from one place to another is called as migration. You must have heard about the Siberian crane, which comes from all the way from Siberia, which is in Russia, to the places like Bharatpur Sanctorium in Rajasthan and Sultanpur in Haryana. Birds migrate to the same place year after year with the help of their inbuilt sense of direction. Some of the birds are believed to use landmarks to guide them. Many birds are guided by the sun during the day and stars at night. Some evidences show that birds use magnetic field of the earth to find the direction. This is very important that they use magnetic field of the earth to find directions. Animals like fish, insects and mammals are also known to migrate seasonally. Adaptations of animals in tropical rainforest. The climate of the tropical forest is hot and damp. Days and nights are almost equal in length throughout the year. These regions get plenty of rainfall. So the climate in the tropical rainforest are highly suitable which supports many animals. In India, tropical rainforests are found in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, and Western Ghats. The largest tropical rainfall forests in the world are found in Amazon basins of South America, Central African countries of Cameroon, Congo, Nicaragua and Belize in Central America, Myanmar, Indonesia and Papua New Guinea in Southeast Asia. These regions support a variety of flora and fauna. The animals which live in the rainforest include monkeys, apes, gorillas, lion, tiger, elephants, leopards, lizards, snakes, birds, etc. Now let's learn about the features of these animals. Monkeys and apes use their arms, legs, and even their tails to swing from one tree to another. These organs are also adapted to hold and grasp branches firmly. The lion-tailed macaque is a good climber and spends major part of its life on trees. It feeds on fruits, seeds, young leaves, stems, birds, etc. It searches for insects under the bark of the trees. It is rarely it comes on the ground. Red-eyed frog in the Central American rainforest possesses a sticky pad on its feet which helps it to climb trees on which it lives. Many tropical animals have sensitive hearing, sharp eyesight, thick skin, and skin color which help them to camouflage by blending with the surroundings. Lions and tigers have thick skins. Elephants have a long trunk, which is used for picking food. Tusks are used for tearing the bark of the trees for eating. They have large ears which help them to keep cool in the hot and humid climate of the rainforest. These ears work like a fan. The chameleon has a long tail. Its eyes are very large and they can move in all directions. It can change its skin color similar to the background to hide itself. The tongue is large, sticky, and rolled up as a tape inside the mouth. Chameleon shoots its tongue out at once to catch its prey and then rolls it up back into the mouth. The toucan is a bird which possesses long, large beak that helps it to reach the fruits on branches which are otherwise too weak to support its weight. This is all about the adaptations of animals in the tropical rainforest. Thank you for listening.